Hey, Shane here from the Legal Edge. So one of the questions I got to ask is, what is different about the Legal Edge? And what I mean by that is not the techniques, not the tactics, nothing like that. No, what is the culture of the group? What are the kind of people you're going to find in the Legal Edge, right? And I'm going to tell you, everybody's lawyers, right? Some own their own law firm, some have a smaller firm, some have a slightly bigger firm, some are partners inside of a firm or inside of a lawyer unit. But what's different is this is a culture of accountability, right? We firmly believe you're responsible for the success and failure in your life. Almost 100%. And what does that mean? That means you can change any of it, right? So it's a culture of responsibility. It's also a culture of, I'm going to say accountability, but it's not like anybody holds you accountable other than yourself, right? Nobody can hold you as the leader accountable other than yourself. But what we are doing is we're going to remind you of the things you say, and we're going to expect you to hold yourself accountable and grow. And also, though, truth telling. And what I mean by that is you need to be true about your own facts and your data, right? You need to be able to get that data and live with the consequences, because if you know where you're at, you can build a bridge to the future, but you have to know where you start. Otherwise, you're just in some random location, right? And what I mean by that is sometimes people talk to us about their signups and their leads or their average fees, and you ask them, and it's like, well, this is what it is. And we're like, do you have any data to show that? And the answer is no, okay? So you're going to have to dig into that data. You're going to have to get it. You're going to have to know that. One of the things we teach is knowing your numbers, right? We help you build that so you can be accountable and responsible for that inside your firm and know where you're at, so you can go towards that future destination, so you can go towards where you want to be and where you want to win. All right, so that's part of the culture you're going to find. Also, you're going to find a bunch of winners, right? People who want to win. And so often, if you turn on the news, the TV, you scroll through Facebook and all that, you find a bunch of doom and gloom. You find people whining and complaining and just saying, woe is me, woe is me. We're not going to have any of that where we're at, okay? We don't tolerate that. We don't want that in our group. Sometimes bad stuff happens. Sometimes you spend a ton of money on marketing and it doesn't work. Sometimes you have employees that walk away, who take half your business, firms split up. There's all these things that can happen. And it's okay to be sad and worried for a day or two, but then you need to get back up on the horse. You need to work through your problems and you need to grow, okay? And you need to focus on fixing them and see, what did I do wrong? How do I make it better? And then you need to get to work. And that's what you're going to find inside the Legal Edge. If you got any questions, go to legaledgecoaching.com, and I'll see you there. This is Shane.